So for tonight's devotional, I was originally, I was going to try to do it with one verse, like I think David mentioned once, and so did my sister mention once to me, about trying to do it with one verse and see how much we can get out of it. But that's a lot harder than it's a lot harder to do than just saying it. So I did this one. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but I'm trying to do it with fewer and fewer verses. Maybe I can get down to one day. I have 4 verses for us tonight that I'd like for us to meditate on. If you would, turn to Luke 22, verse 42, and we'll read through 44. It reads, saying, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. I read this verse, or these couple of verses, a lot of times trying to see what I can find in them. And I know we talk about, Jesus and what he did for us. He sacrificed himself for us, and how grateful we should be, and how much love he showed to us in that action. But, the more I read it, and I look more at the details of it, right? He sweated blood. I've never heard of a person ever having so much agony that they sweated blood. I've never read about it anywhere else, and there may be other cases like it, but I've never read that or heard of it until we find Jesus here. And you can imagine, understanding what crucifixion is, and understanding that's what's going to happen to you. And that's what Jesus was doing here. He was praying, and he was praying earnestly, we read. And what does that mean? Well, earnestly is a serious, persistent asking. He really was hoping for a different way. He asked, "If it is your will, take this cup from me." He's asking God. But even though he's afraid, even though he's sweating blood and he's in agony, not my will, but yours. And, just some synonyms of what agony is. Because agony is extreme physical or mental pain. It's some synonyms are torture, torment, dismay, or misery. It's agony. And he chose to do it anyway. And, when we read verses like this, it makes me think of, and obviously it's nowhere near the same, but it makes me think of this. When you're going to Six Flags or a carnival or a fair, and you want to be brave, and you get on a ride, and you immediately regret it. And if it was up to us, we would stop the ride. We would get off. But Jesus, right, we read in, Jesus didn't do that. We read in Matthew chapter 26, verses 52, that he had that option to stop, to call a legion or 12 legions or a whole bunch of angels. Starting in 52. But Jesus said to him, "Put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword perish by the sword. Or do you not think that I cannot pray now to my Father, and he will provide with me more than 12 legions of angels?" So we see that Jesus had that opportunity to stop what was going to happen to him. And yet he still chose us, even in his fear, even in his agony, even though he was sweating blood and he was in distress. And it makes me think of Christians today, including myself, and how we say it's so hard to choose, God, because we're selfish, right? We want to do this, or we have this bad habit that we can't break, or we don't read our Bibles enough, and it's so hard for us. But then we have Jesus here, who went through crucifixion for us, and we try to compare it, and it's kind of laughable. We're complaining about all the things that are hard for us, and Jesus, could have took the easy way out. He could have called 12 legions of angels, and he would have been right to do it. He wouldn't have been in the wrong either. But he chose us, and I want us to think about what he did a little more deeply than we normally do. We always say he died for us. You think about it, yeah, he died for us, but he was in agony. He was afraid. He sweated blood, and this was before he actually went through it. And then I could go on and describe what crucifixion is, and it's terrible. And he endured it for us. And I just want us to be a little more selfless and think of Jesus more in our day-to-day lives when we feel like this is too difficult, or I really don't want to. I'm bored. Whatever it is, think of Jesus and what he did for us. And I know for me, it helps motivate me. And I hope it motivates you as well. Like I said, this wasn't very long. I'm trying to get down to one verse, maybe, eventually. But I hope this did encourage us all tonight to look for Jesus for encouragement. If you need prayers or you have good news for us, you need to lean on us for anything, I'd invite you to come up while we stand and while we sing.